We have a last fantastic guest who literally I think it was yesterday, agreed to join us tonight, and that's Peter. Peter is doing
Hello.
super awesome because he will do some live coding with us tonight. Peter, what do you want to live code with us now?
So today, first, there's a quick introduction about network. Network. How is it exactly called?
Network Information API?
Yes, Network Information API. I'm sorry, I just
no
forgot.
worries.
Network Information API is a very crucial part of Chrome because I will tell you a story that happened to me like 5 or even 6 years ago. So we drive in a car to visit our friends that are 2 hours from us, and let's say in first half an hour car was okay, but just in 30 minutes car was, there is a LED display like check engine, and car stopped. So our car stopped in the middle of nowhere, and we tried to restart, to push that car, but nothing happens. So I pick up my phone and trying to get a road car assistance because that car is totally broken. But there's a incidentally issue later. I will explain. So I try. So I have a flagman phone, but that car is broke in the middle of nowhere, and there was, for example, 4G coverage, but since we're in the middle of nowhere, there are 2G and 3G, 3G with poor coverage and 2G with full coverage. So my phone is constantly switching between 2G and 3G, and I was just trying to get a phone to pick up my that number, call that guys, explain where I am, and when it happens. So this thing will talk like 2 or 3 minutes, but for me it took, for example, hour or hour and a half, because every site was full with images, full size videos and things like that. And this since I explained I have a flagman phone, but I was in middle of nowhere with poor coverage, so I became a victim of that developers. And today I'm going to explain how you can fix this today with using of Network Information API that is built in, for example, in Chrome, in Firefox, in Opera, with many things. So I start to share a screen.
And with that, I'll give the stage to you as well. Have fun, enjoy.
Thank you. So first, I built a very simple HTML. This is Network Information API. So I made an event listener for change, for connection type of a navigator, and try to dump type, downlink, round trip time, downlink max, effective type, and save data. But this is very, and let's see. I will drop code here. So here you can see type is undefined. There is some kind of 4 megabytes, like 7 megabytes per second, 10 megabytes per second. This is good. Round trip time is 50 milliseconds. This is very good. Downlink maximum is undefined because Chrome in desktop doesn't support it. And Chrome defined that probably my effective type is 4G. But since I'm on desktop Chrome, this is a little bit not fair because I have a broadband internet with gigabyte Ethernet or things like that. So, but Chrome for desktop show me like 4G, and save data, I will talk more about save data later, is false. But let's see how this happened on real device. I have some kind of Android that is connected. So we will check that page.
Real quick, can you make the font a little larger, please?
That's I will, but just a second to not HTML. Wow. Okay, so we have a connection, but I don't have a connected that phone. So I will eject and connect it again. Yes, finally. So we have inspect element, and let's try it. napi.html. What? Well, that works honestly because I can see it on my phone, but I can make an connection. Okay, I won't stop that. So in Chrome, we have a network condition, and we can control what Chrome to be. For example, for right now is 4G, but if we push 3G, that screen is refreshed, and right now it's type my effective type of coverage is 3G. I can use slow 3G, and he suddenly change effective type to 2G, and that is perfect. But that's the one of problems, because we first must make connection to that server, and server to check our connection between 4G to 3G and 2G, so that server can see what kind of information to send to us. But some browsers, like my preferred Safari, for example, they doesn't support this, and Safari show some kind of error because type is undefined. So Safari doesn't support this, and if you try to use the Safari, don't, because only Chrome and Firefox support it. So how to make change this to work with us? So I start with very simple code for, okay, I will make a larger fonts for you. So we're trying to load of, for example, a style sheet, some kind of JavaScript, and some kind of image. So this works very well here in Web Zurich. I will type it. So this works fantastic and can drop everything about us, but unfortunately, we don't know what kind of coverage right now have a browser. But there is some kind of extension that is called the client hints that can assist us to get more information about user browser. So how to get the client hints? First, client hints doesn't work, and to make them work, we must add some kind of headers like accept client hints, and we told the Chrome to report device memory, viewport white, save data, dot pair. This is the message of the screen, white, downlink, effective connection type, and round trip. So we save that, and we are going here, not here. We are going here in Web Zurich. We make inspect element, and in inspect element in network, we refresh that, and we can see that finally they are making a connection to css.css, gs.gs, and jpeg.jpeg, but suddenly Chrome is starting to drop up a connection type dot okay, let's forget that. For example, viewport white, round trip time, and many other things. So let's make this a little bit better, because, for example, right now we are building a backend that will get this connection type of downlink time or device memory, how to work with us. So we are getting some kind of HD access to work here, and we're making an HD access. So this works. And right now we're making a PHP to be executed on CSS file, on PHP, on JavaScript, on JPEGs. So here we will make also css.css, so that file doesn't return anymore 404. And today I've wrote that very quick file. So this is very quick file that return that get effective connection type. And if effective connection type is 3G, he set the background color for wall body to be green. If connection type is 3G, will be orange. If it's 2G, will be red. And if it's undefined, for example, yeah, this is very important because Safari or Safari for iOS doesn't support it. We will make a background gray. So we wrote that file and we refreshed it. And suddenly you can see our background right now is green. That means that our connection is 3G. Let's make a little bit change in network condition and today make a fast 3G connection. So we refresh that and you can see background is changed because connection type is changed. And if we made a connection type slow with one refresh, right now that screen will become red because connection type right now is 2G. Let's test this in our Safari. So here is gray because Safari doesn't support connection type and can't help us. So right now, let's going further. Since you know how to get effective connection type, let's try the same with JavaScript. So we are going here and make a new file like javascript.javascript. It's empty. And that file will be, for example, return connection type to be JavaScript, also get effective connection type, and it's 4G. Let's write document write, you shouldn't use this. For example, to be connection in 4G. If it's 3G to return hello world 3G, it's 2G, we'll write hello world 2G, and if it's in the find, for example, for Safari, just will wrote a hello world. So we save that. We're going here. We're going to be online and also refresh that. And suddenly you can see hello world 3G because JavaScript is start and PHP, you can see PHP is getting this effective connection type and suddenly return to browser very different, a JavaScript that's return different kind of code. If we wrote a fast, if we select a fast 3G and refresh that screen, will be hello world 3G. If it's slow, that is a 2G. We'll wrote finally, it's a little bit slow. It's wrote a hello world 2G. So that is very good. Let's continue with that image. So image that is the code, and I will write it like jpeg.jpg. No, that editor doesn't allow editing of JPEG files, so will be a PHP. So we'll make a code change. So, so what is the change here? So we also get effective connection type. We create a very small image. We select the white color, and if effective connection type is 4G, we wrote in that image hello world 3G, also 3G, also 2G, and if there is nothing, we'll wrote just a hello world without anything, and that wrote a JPEG file or return to the browser. But since we can't do anything, we'll duplicate that file and rename to jpeg.jpg. So it's wrote here, and we just reload, and you can see hello world 3G in that image. I will talk about this a little bit later. So for example, we select a 3G. We can see a very, very different image. Right now it's 3G. And if we select a slow 3G, you can see, yes, it's slow. And right now it shows Hello World 2G. So that is fantastic. Let's go back in Safari and see. So they wrote Hello World only because Safari doesn't support this. So let's go back in a little bit different things. Why? How you can use this? Since we are making a connection to the site. Yes, here is the connection. So we make the connection to the site, and site returns some kind of HTML with accept client hints and client hints lifetime. So client hints lifetime explain that for this resource, for 1 day, you should use a client hints. If we didn't set client hints, that information never was sent to the server. So server doesn't know your device memory, your viewport wide or save data, wide, downlink, effective connection type of things like that. They can be visible to the server only if the server wants in HTML return that to the client. But can we use this little bit further with using the save data? So save data is very important things because in Chrome for the Android, they have settings in the Chrome. I can't right now display my Android just for the save data. So right now I make explain the demonstration how to use that save data in reality. So we make a new file like file.php, and I make example like this one. So this is very simple document that embed one YouTube video and embed some kind of slide presentation from Google Drive. So file.php. So we make file.php. So you can see video, Schiller, Aurora, and presentation from Google Drive. But let's make things a little bit further. Since browser can save that is very important, by the way, I will explain later. Browser can save the client hints with save data even without server to return that he will use it. So we will get this, for example. Okay, let's start writing PHP code. So we return it. Second to see what is actual thing. My Android device can get an internet access. Yes, so this is called HTTP. So if browser send this means please send me some kind of lightweight document because I can't use full for example, I'm low-end device or I have some kind of connectivity issues. So send me something that I can see, and we'll wrote like this, like yes, we will drop that user to the YouTube. Like this, and also we'll make a connection to, for example, to that document. Yes. So if save data is on, and this means send me a limited. This means send me a limited HTML. So I hope that code will work. So right now we're reloading that, and we have internal server error. Yes. Something is wrong here. PHP parse and line 90s. 1990 else. Yes. I found. Else there must be something like this. And yes. So let this works. Yes. So right now I'm on desktop that doesn't say save data, and I can see Schiller, Aurora, and that presentation. But let's open and inspect element, and that is on remove devices. Yes. So WebZuri, yes, inspect. I hope that it works. Yes, right now that's on low-end device, and we open file.php, and you can see there is a click here to YouTube and click here to Google Drive, because when we are calling this a Chrome in request header, make save data on. Just with this, Chrome is still, okay, this is mobile Chrome on Android device. Chrome is telling to the server, please send me a limited HTML because I'm a low-end device. Right now, I'm going to open on connection settings in Android and disable this light mode, how it's explained. And it's okay. Light mode is right now disabled. And right now I'm reloading that page. And suddenly I start to get a very different HTML with embedded YouTube and that presentation from Google Drive. So that's the file. I'll drop it here. And so why this is very important for you? Because, for example, sometimes your customers, your visitors, and your users have a very good devices, but you're not sure that have a very good devices because they are flagmans and there are some kind of low ends. You don't know. And sometimes your users, even that have a flagship devices, they have a very poor a place with coverage. For example, they may claim Matterhorn or Weisshorn or things like that, and they may have a very good device but very poor coverage, and they, for example, may asking, for example, for some kind of assistance or things like that. So if user is selected light mode, that we save data, you don't need to push the whole data to them. For example, you can see that code is very nice and very simple, and we didn't make an embedded things. So user can select where to click and what to do. And if that light mode isn't enabled, you can drop down here and YouTube video and that presentation. Here's another example. I love to use that version of Facebook that is a very, very, very limited, and this is a text-only version of Facebook. So if we see mobile.book.com, you can see that Facebook also make same. So they make a very different versions from Facebook, but MBasic is a text-only version, and even some kind of images didn't like aren't shown this. And honestly, if I'm on place with very poor coverage, I'm using this version of Facebook because it's a very good. For example, I can click here, I can make a comment like blah 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 or things like that, and I'm not punished because I have a very good device, but I'm on place with poor coverage. For example, if I'm on place with mobile, I can use that version of Facebook or even desktop version of Facebook. So how you can use this? For example, if a user is using a save data, you may not show him a video in backgrounds. You may not show him, for example, retina images. You may not show, for example, resource-heavy JavaScripts that will can make site very slower. You can save a very, very basic site with text-only information, for example, with what phone, with phone number, what we are, what we do, how you use it. I know that SEO will be freaked, for example, how Google tools will use it, since Googlebot right now is built on evergreen Google Chrome. Let's use, for example, mobile, for example, a mobile-friendly test, and let's get that Web Zurich test, and we open a mobile-friendly test. We drop this, and it's working. And let's use a HP Insight test also. So yes. It's a little bit overloaded, my computer. So let's go back in mobile friendly test. As you can see, Googlebot report that is running on 4G coverage, and you can see that background is in green. That means also is 4G coverage, but that image is very, very small, and unfortunately, even if we scale it up, we don't know what will be here. But since it's 4G and everywhere, probably it's also 4G. And if we are using PageSpeed Insight, that is also in green, and on desktop is also in green. So this explains that Googlebot is presenting themselves like 4G. But if we using that test, for example, for file, and we are making mobile-friendly test, for example, 1 more time, Googlebot will see a full version of our page with embedded video and embedded Google Drive slides. So you shouldn't hesitate about this. Probably there will be some kind of change soon, but as you can see, everything works and everything is perfect, and Googlebot can see a text-only version of our page. But since user is limited, this probably shouldn't be an issue for right now for Googlebot. So that is everything for now. If you have any kind of comment for this, don't hesitate to ask how to improve your page. And start to think how to make a smaller web pages, because right now users are, World Wide Web isn't anymore World Wide Web. It started to become a worldwide wait, because user wait, they click and wait, do something and wait. And what about if we start making a smaller website with less limited JavaScript, limited CSS, limited HTML, so user can visit that page and do something? Because sometimes, just like me with my car, we don't know what's going on, and if I start walking, for example, a few kilometers, I can get a 4G coverage, but sometimes we are limited in geographic space, and we can get what we are waiting for. And sometimes, for example, if you're browsing on 3G or 2G, users get alienated about your very slow website because they're extremely slow, and users are really freaked out about that. So thank you. If you have questions, drop it in the comments. I will pack that example in archive and we'll send it so everyone can start and learn about this, because it's just a few lines of code, but may have a very huge impact on your websites and your